All I can say is, wow, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final episode of Foundation Season 3 by Story Archives. I'm your host, Mario Buso, alongside
the other host, Zachary Newton. Welcome back.
The title of this episode, Season 3, Episode 10, The Darkness. And damn it, it was dark. It was dark. It was. It made Game of Thrones feel like Teletubbies. Zagreus, man, just don't let this old man walk down the hallway by himself. This is a moral of the story, folks. Don't, if you're doing your job and you got a routine of what you got to do, don't make exceptions. All right, especially not for dying emperors who are on their way to be vaporized. Do not make an exception on that day.
No.
How did he get his nanites back?
They were never removed. Remember, he said that's where I was going next, and then he just dipped and he went and looked at all the floating clones. So yeah, he had his nanites the whole time.
What a mistake by Zagreus. Now I will say, I was not expecting. Well, I was expecting certain things this episode. I think I might have done okay in some of my predictions.
You might have done okay. It's possible.
I think I'm the only one on this show who predicted that Beta. I don't think I ever said Beta was the mule. I think I said Beta was the younger.
She was something. Is definitely what you said. It was. There's 3 bets. It's not one of the 3 bets that we had at the start of the season, unfortunately. But nonetheless, it was a very good call out. I wrote down. I was like, wow, Mario was pretty damn close. I didn't quite expect where that went, but I was like, you're pretty close.
It's always the best when I'm saying something. You're saying I'm not really picking up on what you're saying there, but she's been dropping hints all season about, I have a way of getting people to like me, and then Maggie, really taking a liking to, I love Beta, all this whole thing with Beta. Now, I do want to know, so now that means that the mule we don't know his real name. Let's just keep on referring to him as the fake mule, okay? The decoy mule. He must have been the baby.
That's what I was thinking. So I was gonna ask you, because I did not quite understand that. I think there was like this one moment where there was like a flashback to everything going on whatever the farming planet was, and it was a different kid. It was a girl during the flashback. So I'm assuming she was the girl. She is the mule. I'm assuming the thing that we thought was the mule was the baby.
Maybe, we're going to hopefully find out, or maybe the writers don't even know. Maybe they're figuring that out between seasons as well.
It seems too, like, there was too much of a focus on it for it not to have been the male mule, whatever we want to call him.
So I'm going to say this. I mean, I'm going to poke holes, and I don't know if they're accurate or if they're actual, thought out plot points or not. If he wasn't the one who was drowned by the parents, why would he have been so affected by that method of attack by Gale? So he has her in a chokehold. He's literally choking her out on the table. And she says, you'll always be that little boy in Rossum who's forcing people to love him and wondering why your parents loved that baby more than they loved you. And he's like, ooh. He's like all freaked out by it. Granted, maybe it's because she found out their story and nobody's ever been able to find out their story before, but to freak out to the extent that he lets his guard down, because he's also powerful. I don't believe it's Beta using...
No, I think he's definitely a Mentalic, 100%.
Yeah, so I don't think, unless she has this limitless reach that she's been puppeteering him the whole time, which would be kind of lame. I also don't know why she's gone on this roundabout way of getting in a marriage with Tauren and all these various things. I don't quite understand her strategy. If she's had this power all along, why is she kind of beating around the bush?
Yeah, it seems very bizarre. I mean, like, what a scapegoat, I guess, if you will, or just a cover to have somebody else that's supposedly the mule, and then you just come out of the woodworks. It kind of felt very unrealistic for a bit there. I wasn't surprised, just because you've been kind of saying something about it recently, but at the same time I was just like, what the really? We're doing that? That's exactly how I felt, watch that.
Gale has her on her heels in that fight too.
She does, and we just dip away. We don't know what happened.
And then she says that they tampered the balladeer, which they probably did it in anticipation of the fake Mule trying to use it. But nonetheless, they tampered the Balladeer. She's got Beta all stumbly.
Mm-hmm.
Why not like knife her in the throat or something? You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
that would have been the moment. But I guess season 4.
But that's so freaking
Gail was
stupid,
shot
though.
too, though.
Yeah, but she was shot, but there was nobody there. Why did she just dip? The only time it seemed like there was even any threat was when she jumped out the damn window.
Jumped
and
out the
started
window.
being chased by speed. Like, bro, you had her on her heels. To your point, do something. Like, just end it. And why are we letting this drag on? That honestly drives me absolutely nuts.
I think playing devil's advocate, people will say, well, she was shot and we don't know for sure whether Beta was truly like incapacitated to the max. Obviously Beta's next level strong, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know the full extent, right? They could kind of fill in the blanks and make it make sense as to why she ran away. She wasn't full health, even though when she's running away, it's like in slow motion. She does do an insane maneuver. She skydives out of
it was
space,
like James Bond.
into the outer layer of the atmosphere of what's that planet that they were just on?
New Terminus.
New Terminus, with no oxygen.
Yeah, and didn't burn up from I guess he wasn't high enough in the atmosphere to burn up.
Looked like they were in space to me.
Same.
Then dives, no oxygen, is able to talk in complete sentences with the full force of just whatever the miles per hour would have been that she was going into the atmosphere with, and then does a tumble maneuver and lands like a feather on a pillow. I mean, just nothing. Maybe she like bruised a rib. She didn't get injured one bit. I need her plot armor. Her plot armor is insane. I down with the narrations, bro. Nobody survives that. Skydive. I thought the whole time she's doing it, I'm like, what's her plan here? Do these ships account for crazy Tom Cruise maneuvers
It's
of
so
like maybe
funny.
a force field would net her in or something like that? But no, her maneuver was barrel roll in the air, mid-air, to a flimsy little net inside the cargo hold.
I was going to say, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because what I was going to say is, I know why they did this. I know why they did this move. The reason why they did this move was to test out to see if Tom Cruise's next stunt, when he does a freaking Mission Impossible in space, will work and will be well received by the audience. So don't be surprised if this is the maneuver he does to come down from space.
I honestly think you're right. It'll be something like this. It'll be Tom Cruise. What do you call that when you do? He's already technically done this.
It's like air surfing.
Halo jumps. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Halo jumps when you're like above the. I don't know. You're not above the.
It's something along those lines.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna go 0G and like be floating and fight someone in space, and then he's gonna jump out of the vessel and skydive down to Earth into another plane.
Yeah. 100%.
Then he'll fly the plane
Upside down.
and it'll crash into the ocean where he'll commandeer a yacht or something.
Oh, I was gonna say a submarine, and then it'll go down to like the
It'll
journey
go
to the
down
center of
to
the earth.
the depths.
Yeah. Man, this was a wild episode. I do think I don't like the way that the whole Mule thing ended. That felt very abrupt and easy to kill who we thought was the Mule. And I still don't like that, unless I missed something somehow. That storyline didn't end. Like, I get Gale was hurt. I get it. But bro, you had this girl like just completely incapacitated.
Yeah,
she couldn't do anything.
That felt a bit anticlimactic to me.
Very anticlimactic.
The way that he died. But we kind of knew that was going to happen that way because I mean, at least I said it. I said the way they're going to fight this is they're both Professor Xavier's. Like they're just going to have a mental war. It's not going to be hand-to-hand combat. It's going to be my force field's bigger than your force field, and then someone's going to get knifed or something. Like it's just.
Yeah, I know. I was a little skeptical going into that too, because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what do we do? We're gonna see a showdown, and it's just gonna be two people literally staring at each other, wide-eyed, like and furious looking. No, I mean they could have done a little more, like battling inside the mind. It wasn't That
I
part
think they
wasn't
did a
too
nice
bad.
little.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was just it just
They
felt a
did a
little
nice
too
little
quick.
setup.
Anticlimactic is the exact way to say it.
Yeah, I think they did a nice little setup with like the whole Mind Wars thing.
Yeah.
They took a page completely from the Harry Potter book, which I never, talked down too much, but they did the whole, you know, I've counted primes my whole life, and I wasn't just counting primes. I was building a fortress, and a fortress of my loved ones, my mentors, my ex, many lovers. That's what she was doing, and that's like the Harry Potter thing, like he can't be killed because he's protected by love. So I did think at one point that she was gonna do the classic Naruto move. What do they call it? Naruto
I have
no jutsu.
no
That's what it
idea.
is. So in Naruto, they constantly kind of make fun of Naruto, and they say he has tak no jutsu, which is essentially he fights a guy for ages. He'll fight a guy for like 10 episodes or something like that, maybe longer. And then at the end of it, the way he actually defeats his enemy is by talking to him and being like, "I understand your pain." I thought she was gonna go there with the whole Rossum story,
Yeah.
but no, she does knife him in the throat. I'm still blanking on Beta's game plan and why she's been so covert about everything when it's clear that she didn't. She can be covert and do this whole thing, right? She could have done this whole thing. She could have pretended to be like the mule's mistress or something, like she could.
Anything, but I don't understand why, to your point, she went about it in such a roundabout way. I mean, I can understand not wanting to have the target on your back, but it seemed unnecessary. Like,
Does she love
this
Torn?
felt so unnecessary. I don't know. I mean, I would assume, but it just feels so unnecessary.
Let me ask you a question.
yeah.
When the whole thing went down, and so my eyebrow started to raise when Pritchard says the mule's close, and then it kind of goes to where the mule is, and you're like, it wasn't that close. Who did you think it was? At what point were you like, oh, it's Beta, and it wasn't Maggie? Because at first Maggie was looking mad suspicious in the corner. When the mule dies and he's there kind of with just his balladeer standing by the window.
I did not think it was Beta until I saw those legs walking in with the light gleaming behind her.
Damn, they got
I'm
you to
honest.
the end.
Yeah, they got me to the end there. I was not thinking that. I was thinking maybe we underestimated the distance and the reach that the mule's power has. I was not suspecting it was her. I was very strongly suspecting that it was the me. I think I wrote that down on my notes. I was like, okay, so if he, like, what's the mule's role? He's got to be not the mule's role, the balladier's role, Magnifico. I'm like, it's got to be him. He's got to be the mule, and he had that like suspiciously evil look on his face, like, I know something you don't. But no, that one surprised me. I was not quite expecting that. I was expecting her to be a Mentalic from the last episode where she kind of said, "This is going to be so confusing." I'm gonna use the words that we've known for the last, or the names we've known for the last 9 episodes.
Okay.
The moment Beta said to the mule, it's time for you to go or leave or whatever, leave us alone or something like that. I was like, okay, she's got to have some power. I was with you on that. Was not expecting this.
And why? So here's the thing, and we could talk about this for a little bit. And I didn't think about this shit till now. Because my notes are very much very tongue-in-cheek, humorous notes tonight.
I've got 5 lines on my notes.
I beat you there. I got like 40. But
Yeah, you always do.
Dusk's detour. So I kind of just had little quips for everything to remind myself because I just kind of really wanted to just enjoy the episode.
Same.
He's destroyed every single Cleon except for Dawn. Dawn still exists.
Yes, this is true.
I bet you forgot about that one.
No, I didn't. I was fully aware that Don was the only other one that exists. My mind was wondering, like, where do we go from here? What is his role going to be in this?
So my mind was there. Essentially, was like, all right, I forgot about Don and all the darkness stuff that was happening on Trantor. I was like, oh my gosh, so he's gonna be the last emperor, right? But no, technically the genetic material still exists in Don, so he could come back as king at some point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's far-fetched to see some sort of Beta coming over to the good side. eventually in the following seasons. I could see it. Also, by the way, it's kind of fitting that the arch villain is female, considering the main protagonist is female.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
why,
fair.
but there does seem to be a bit of it kind of jives. There's kind of like a
Yeah.
synchronicity to it. That Gale's like, I don't know. It just always seems to be that way in a story. Where like the nemesis is usually the same gender, right? So,
Yeah.
so in this case, I do feel like it's kind of cool to have Gale and Beta be like light and dark side. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they both have the same powers. One is doing good, one is doing evil.
Are they though? My question to you when you were saying that was like, bro, what's the good side here?
Well,
Who's
yeah,
the good side?
That's to
you
be
know?
argued. I think at this point we can say Gale is on the good side and Beta's on the bad side, despite my own reservations about Gale's tactics.
Yeah, at least she doesn't seem to be trying to engineer pure chaos, unlike Beta, the Mule. Now.
We don't know anything about Beta, so I will say this: I said it, or I kind of wondered about it. I said, how the hell are they going to do more seasons when this concludes? If the Mule dies in this season,
bro. This. I'm sorry. I want to see a prequel at this point. I need a prequel
before the next season.
Not even before the next season. Split it. Build the universe. Do a prequel series and keep this thing going.
You can't, because now you have. Well, I wouldn't do it. I would do a prequel series in between seasons, but of the robot war era, because now, look, the trajectory we're on now, we don't know crap about Beta. Okay, we don't know what's going to happen with the Cleon timeline thing now. We have Dusk is. I didn't see this coming, and it blindsided me completely. The darkness, the period of darkness that everybody talks about, is literally darkness. Is literally Brother Darkness. That's what they're called when they go to get vaporized. So he is the first of his name, Emperor Darkness. That is literally what his I guess moniker, his name is.
Yeah, he changed to Brother Darkness. Yeah.
So that little period that Harry's been prophesying about is literally, I'm assuming literally by the name, except nobody thought it was going to be a literal figure. They thought it was just going to be a period of darkness. No, this is the period of darkness. He has the nanites. He's going to live forever.
But I don't know about that, because wasn't the period of darkness? I agree with like the whole fact that none of us drew the parallel to the name. At least I haven't heard it. I never thought it actually being Brother Darkness. I thought it was an era of time. But when Selden was talking about this in the first season, wasn't he saying that it was like a 10,000 year period of darkness?
Yeah,
I don't.
For me, in this episode, I took it as
keep
like,
him alive that long.
For me, though, it crossed my mind in this episode that perhaps that period of darkness is also ruled by Emperor Darkness, in some sense.
One would assume, but I mean, if the nanites could keep him alive for, I mean, forget 10,000 years or 1,000 years, forget 100 more years. Why even have this whole cloning, this whole exuberance process of creating clones? By the way, were you surprised at how many freaking clones there were? I thought it was just like a dupe of each one, just one dupe. There was like 50 clones up there.
I wasn't expecting to get a view like that. I was expecting them to have a backup plan if, the 3 tanks malfunction, that there was more.
Yeah.
I also think it's stupid to have all of them in the same tower. So I think I literally asked that in the last episode. I said, if they destroy that central tower, is that the end of the Cleon line?
Yeah, you did ask that question.
And it sure seems that is the end of the Cleon line. Now, you said, why have these various clones if they could live forever? We know the thing about the genetic drift, right?
Yes.
Genetic drift did not always exist, but it became a thing over the centuries, I guess, or over the decades with these people. Did Dusk get an extension at all in this season?
An extension of his life?
Yeah.
No.
Not even
other than the one that he manufactured for himself? No.
You mean the one that he manufacture himself in this episode.
In this episode, yes.
Okay,
correct.
no. Oh, but nobody said, hey, 30 more hours for you, nothing. So
Nobody. Day was
this
the
was
one that
still
said, brother,
by the
I'll
day.
give you an extension in this episode. And it never happened.
So then, by the second, okay, Demerzel was correct that he needed to be vaporized today. She was probably a little bit late, to be honest with you, because of how distracted she was.
Yeah.
Right? But it seems to me that they become deranged. Every Dusk and every season has had this sort of identity crisis at the end of his life.
And who
Okay.
wouldn't? But yes, keep going.
Who wouldn't? Yes, but also who would do what he did in this episode?
That's also, and in the previous episode, blow up 3 fucking planets.
He blew up like 5 to 9 billion people. Okay, yeah. So I think her clock was precise. I think that these Cleons become essentially their minds are expired after a certain point, so you have to start over with them. And maybe that's just the protocol. Maybe that is just the protocol of what it is. There's some sort of biological mechanism that these start to break apart, hence why you need the new ones. So were you at all shocked? I think I wasn't shocked necessarily, because I think I also mentioned in the last episode that I didn't think he would go down without a fight. Like I said that this guy, he has no intentions of being vaporized.
You have said that. Whether or not I've said that, I've definitely felt that in previous episodes. However, at the very beginning of this episode, I'm showing minute 5 on the screen right now. He's getting dressed up in his transformation to Brother Darkness. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, maybe he will just go peacefully. He will be the pawn that it seems like all of these brothers have been forever. And I was also, I guess I was making myself believe that by thinking like, man, if you just blew up 3 planets with billions of people on it, what better way to not have to feel the weight of that decision than to just die yourself? So I thought it was about a good 30 seconds while he was getting robed that he was going to just go with the plan. But then it was the moment he started walking out of the room after thanking everybody and he had that smirk on his face. I was like, this guy is out for something right now. And my God, was he out for something, bro. Ooh.
What is that weapon he had in his hand?
The bomb? I don't know.
Was that a portable Navacula, bro? He was vaporizing everybody.
He was.
with that thing.
It's a good question. I thought he like hooked up some C4 or something like that up to some of those tanks, but then it was like on all of the tanks. I'm like, how are you even doing that? I don't know. And didn't the same switch also control the beam?
It seems to have. So it was that beam remote controlled into his hand with that little thing, which is insanity. It's like an impulse type of beam.
Yeah,
Insanity.
but the beam was different than what happened in the cloning area. It was like those things exploded. I didn't understand that. I mean, yes, I comprehended what happened. The freaking tanks exploded. Like 80 bodies fell from the sky on such a delay. That was a weird.
I'm gonna say
moment
this
on screen.
I was so frustrated watching his whole destruction. And, there was no part of me in this episode that was entertained by Dusk until the very end, where I started to picture like, wait a minute, he actually might make the next few seasons really entertaining, being the deranged Mad King.
Yeah, same.
That will probably be super entertaining. But I was very frustrated watching it, knowing that Day has this absolute groundbreaking information. He has the robot skull he's trying to hack into. He's trying to get Demerzel free, and you got this idiot who's also helping facilitate Demerzel's freedom, by the way, by destroying all the clones. Who absolutely the craziest part of it, well, maybe the second craziest part of this episode, vaporizes Demerzel by catching her in this paradox or this catch-22 where she both has to protect the baby, which I really hated the fact that he killed the baby. on this thing.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
was
it was
really
it was very
disturbing.
dark, and I knew it was going to happen too.
Yeah, because she's melting on top of it. You know, it's
Well, I meant
that,
from the moment like he looked at the baby in the tank, I knew it was going to happen. I was like, I'm like, we're going there. It's going to happen.
I didn't think they were gonna go there, but I also didn't think that Demerzel was gonna freaking slow walk, granny walk her ass all the way to the main
Oh my
tower. I
God.
mean, could she have taken any longer to get there with her stupid ass little hand posture?
Forget that. No. Forget the hand posture, bro. Why on God's green earth would this intelligent robot just walk straight through the damn beam? She could have walked around the beam. She could have run. She could have done anything.
We've seen her while she was having sex with Day last season.
She's quick.
take
She's
out
got
an
talent.
So what was up with that? That she was just slow walking the whole time. She's literally talking to Day. My only explanation for this, and this is what I'm going to put out there for the audience. Please comment why you think Demerzel took forever to get there. I'll tell you why I thought she took forever. Is because I think she wanted him to destroy all of the clones. She knew what he was doing, okay? And she knows what she's doing. She knows she can't go against it. She can't go against him. My bad. Let me rephrase. So in order to not go against her programming, she is walking slow to address the problem while also not stopping him, hoping that she gets an inch closer to being free. And Day sees this and says, okay, let him do whatever he wants to do. Just come with me. And Dusk knows that the only way to become emperor with no stopping is to kill Demerzel.
I see your perspective, but I vehemently disagree with it. I think she, even in the scenario that you just outlined, what literally happened on screen, Demerzel had a choice. She could have gone after one or the other. It wasn't like some third party that wasn't Empire trying to kill the baby. She could have just protected Empire by preserving the young life and taking out the life that was already supposed to have expired.
How would she have protected the young life?
By just killing Dusk or Brother Darkness at this point. Just instantly kill him.
Okay, so I think that's where the logic of the show, in terms of what they have presented, the information they have given us, is not clear enough for us to know what she can and cannot do with her programming. Mm-hmm. Why? Because when you have Day literally confessing that he wants to overthrow the Cleon dynasty, okay, yes, in her room with the robot skull, technically he is a threat to the Cleon dynasty. Hence, yes, if he's a threat, she has to probably off his head. Has she not? She has twisted the neck and killed previous emperor.
I was going to bring that up too. Yeah, okay, that happened in last season. Yep.
So they have given us the information that she is able to kill them if they are going to cause harm to the potential future decades or centuries of the Cleon dynasty. And in this episode, she has multiple opportunities. We've seen her run. We've literally seen her in action running. We've seen her kill people. We've seen her kill people with barely touching them when she killed the Zephyr, and she like poisoned her with something. Okay, so she has all these different methods of doing it. In this episode, she chooses to take her time, and I can only assume that it's her fighting like, tooth and nail to try to break her programming, and so she knows Dusk is doing something that's going to help in that, but it ends up being her demise. But we can talk more about Demerzel because I don't know if she's actually dead.
So that's a good question. I guess to respond to your point, that I think the only excuse for how this could not be, I mean, dare I say it, a plot hole, is just like, look, she did what she did. She acted as fundamentally stupid as she did because she was at such internal conflict with herself that she couldn't think of how to walk around a beam or run, or anything like that. I don't know. But as far as like whether or not she's dead, I think she's dead. I really do. I think the while this episode ended in such a mic drop moment, which, by the way, this episode, the end of the season really, really, really makes me want to go try and read the books or find something, because I was serious about wanting. Yeah, I know. Good luck. I don't read anything. I don't have time. I'm really serious about wanting to see some sort of prequel of how the Foundation, or not the Foundation, how Trantor and how this existence even came about. But
We'll talk about that ending as the last time we talk about.
Yeah, I don't want to dive deep into it right now. We'll save that for later. But I do think Demerzel's dead. I think, unfortunately, this is the end of seeing Lee Pace in here. Which
makes sense. I was wondering how much
Day.
longer such a talented actor is going to stay.
It's true. I mean, it's, again, good point. But I also think we're done with Demerzel. Brother
I
Day
don't
and
think it's
Demerzel.
the end of Lee Pace, by the way. I don't.
In this, really? Well,
No,
okay.
because-
All right.
because you
I
assume-
could see a return of Lee Pace if Dawn is in the next season
Yeah.
and Dawn grows up. I could totally see that. Yes, but
Yeah, you took my words out of my mouth. That's
We're
exactly what I
close.
was going to say.
yes.
I think he'll be kind of like an incapacitated Day.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I,
the reason I,
did
say
wanna mention
Demerzel's probably not dead is because her skull is lit up,
I know.
and it does make me wonder if she did the handshake protocol before she went.
Well, a few things. The first thing I wanted to mention was actually about Dawn, because you were saying, I guess, if we did get Day in a future season, he would be kind of incapacitated. I kind of feel the same way about Dawn as you felt about Day, in that, you know, he could be a good leader. Just that I think the selflessness that I saw in Dawn to Beta, which the fact that she's the Mule kind of throws all of this into question, but the fact that he told her, like, no, you run, like, just go. Leave me here. Like, that's good. I could see a good leader in him. I could see, you know, a well-hearted individual there.
You think Beta's gonna get with him and have some kids?
No, I don't think that. I hope she's dead, but
Nah, she's
I
not
think
dead. You
you're. Well,
crazy?
I know. I was gonna say, I do think you're right about the whole fact that the Mule conflict probably is not going to be resolved in this one season. It's kind of half right, because the person we thought was the Mule is now dead.
Dude, do you know how lame it would have been to do that big mic drop twist and then kill Beta within 5 seconds after that? I'm the Mule, and then she gets killed 3 seconds later. That would be the dumbest thing ever.
It would be stupid, but I also kind of thought it was a little stupid anyways. But I did want
Luke,
to
I
mention
am your father, and he dies.
Yeah, I know. I did want to mention real quick, though, the whole Demerzel thing. Yeah, you mentioned her skull lighting up. I saw that too. My interpretation of that, though, was it was the light basically leaving Demerzel, in the sense of, like, she's dead. It wasn't a hint towards, like, hey, I'm still in here. It was it felt more like a confirmation of, like, you know, when you see somebody die, and it's just like you see the light go out of their eyes. I feel like you can just tell. That's what that felt like to me.
I don't want to ask how, but
I won't tell any stories about my past. I mean,
all right.
jeez. No.
No, I honestly, it would be so lame if Demerzel's just gone from the series. That's the reason
It would be, but I think she is.
Did she technically pass the "we didn't see a body" rule?
Bro, her body's melted to shit. I know her skull's there. Look, I thought the same thing, and I was hoping for the same thing, but the skull was melting into the floor, and it flickered like it was coming on, like it was the last moments. Then it flickered out and withered away. I don't know.
Nobody dies in this show for good, bro. Salvor's probably gonna come back. Harry's definitely gonna come back. And I think Demerzel has her little baby robot that's looking out for her. I think the baby robot was like, "Queen Danielle, how may I help you?"
Bro, I want to
And
know what
and
those
then-
little robots look like.
Yeah. Which, by the way, how poetic is it that where the robots used to hide so they wouldn't be exterminated by Empire, now the second foundation is at. I was very surprised to see the second foundation has relocated to Trantor, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah. That's a good point. I didn't think about
Also,
its poetic nature.
can we dive into something?
Sure.
These visions that Gale got about the mule in the future. Why was it always a guy? You telling me
I don't
Beta
know.
manipulated the vision so that it was never her in the vision? What is up with that?
That's where I can't comprehend, what's going on here. I'm so thrown by the fact that the person we thought was the mule wasn't the mule. I can get on board with, let's just call her Beta. I'm gonna call the guy that we thought was the mule, and I'm gonna call Beta. I mean, that's just easiest that way. I can get on board with thinking and understanding that Beta, I guess, just sunk herself so deep into the mule's brain that he was just purely brainwashed. A powerful guy, powerful person, but brainwashed. I think if she was successful with Gale, she would have had another mule. I think it's as simple as that. I think the guy that we knew as the mule was very powerful, but she was a little more, and she was controlling him. Just like the mule
so
was
confused,
in
bro.
some of these other people's brains, like even when he wasn't there. Like that chick just bled out in the last episode.
I'm
Remember?
so confused though, like on her whole trajectory of. They're gonna have to explain this, but she becomes a reality TV star pretty much with Torrent.
Which is also so bizarre. Like, why go through this rigmarole? Why get with Torrent? Is Torrent really that important? He felt like a side character.
Well, he's like royalty in this universe, so maybe it's because she wants to be more of a puppeteer type of ruler. She doesn't want people to know her as she doesn't want people to think of her as like some sort of freak with powers who are controlling everybody. She wants to be loved. She is who we thought the mule was, right? So she wants people to love her and not feel like they're loving her because of her powers, so to speak. So perhaps that's the reason why she's gone about this way, because she wants to become the ruler of the universe, but she wants people to love her. So she does everything she does is people love her. She does that show with Torrent and they love her. She has cameras on her all the time. They love her. My whole thing is, how is she puppeteering all this? And is the mule working independently of her, or is she puppeting him as well?
Yeah, that's a good reason, a good reasoning for, I guess, her character. I don't know how much of it is that. I don't think she's just sitting on Calgon, willing him to do whatever she wants him to do. I think there was a moment where, similar to the battle that we saw between Gale and the mule, where Beta, conquered this guy and basically brainwashed him with a specific mission, and then took a seat and let it play out. That's what I think happened, at the very least.
Maybe she was so afraid of Gale that she needed a decoy out there, because Gale is the only way that she could have been stopped. So
But
she wanted to see how that would play out, how Gale would show herself, who Gale was.
Something is off, though. Something is off, because unless Beta had been, I don't know, alive a couple hundred years ago and just sleeping in a cryopod, how could she have influenced Gale's dreams? How?
I don't know. That's the part that I'm really confused as to how the mule was always a dude. And I just don't get it, because she also says about Gale, I've dreamt about you half of my life. Then why is she a dude in Gale's dreams? I just don't understand that part.
I don't understand, but speaking of dreaming, it's about 40 minutes late or 35 minutes late. I've been dreaming of you hitting the subscribe button and following us on YouTube, podcasts.
You've been getting good at this.
Apple. Yeah, thank you, man. I'm trying to look for those little lines where I can pivot that a little bit. But yeah, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube. Like the video. Please share it if you are liking what we got going on here. But yeah,
You know what they say, Zach?
I actually don't know. What do they say?
If you want to avoid 10,000 years of darkness, the best way to do so is to subscribe to the Story Archives podcast.
Yeah, help us hit 1,000 subscribers so we can avoid 10,000 years of darkness, please.
Yeah, please, soon. Okay, so Demerzel's dead, seemingly. I have WTF written all over my notes.
Bro, so do I. I wrote it down. I typed it up to you multiple times. I'm like, no, I can't say anything. No, I don't want him to think it's just too crazy of an episode because I was watching.
I try to ignore your text because you were ahead of me, and you're like Mr. Spoiler with your reactions. You're just like, oh my god, this show, bro.
That's what I said. But I try to prevent any details.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have WTF all over my notes as well.
We talked about Gale's insane skydiving maneuver. Dark Harry realizes that living Harry is dead. That Gale has used once again another ally for her own means, and she has left Dark Harry behind, just kind of floating above New Terminus with Beta nearby as well. So does Dark Harry finally go to the dark side and say, F the Foundation, bro. I'm going to go with somebody who embraces me, who loves me, and I want to be with Beta.
Why'd you
I
say
can see
it
it happening.
I can see it happen. I can see it happen.
He literally confesses to Gale. He says, Gale, this vault is a tomb of my own body that I'm walking around. You know, it's depressing. So he wants to see the other Harry. Could she not have found any means to take him with her?
You see, this is... Let's go back to, I guess, where we started the episode for a minute. This is where I think this episode is kind of stupid. Bro, if Gale can go fucking jump out a window in outer space, plummet to almost the surface of this planet, get sucked into a spaceship, and then jump in, like light speed to God knows where, she couldn't kill the mule? With a bullet wound? Really?
I don't think that logic checks out.
How does that, bro? You don't have the willpower to just kill a person that's incapacitated in front of you, but you have the willpower to go shoot a window to go jump out of the window.
Incapacitated. You're assuming a lot. I don't believe the mule was incapacitated. She just said, "What's going on?" That's all she said.
No, bro. Like the mule was down on her knees. She was clearly in a struggle. Like that's. I feel like that's such a cop-out to assume like anything else. Like there was nothing to lead us to believe that the mule had any strength at that point. She was at the point where you'd think she'd beg for her life.
From what they showed us, it is reasonable to assume that she might have had a chance to push a little bit harder and kill the mule. I agree with you there. Unfortunately, they didn't continue the scene.
No, they didn't continue.
They went to a slow motion sequence of Gale running out of the room.
Yes.
Leaking blood and leaving everybody behind. So that would leave one reasonable human being to assume that crap didn't go according to plan in there, and she was not able to fully dominate the mule in their mental warfare. So
that's the frustrating part.
She did the next reasonable thing. She jumped out the window in space and skydived down to her spaceship for an emergency barrel roll maneuver.
Yeah, I guess. Again, it's still just...
Makes perfect sense to me.
But it feels like it's just so full of holes. Like,
by the way,
I get what you're saying.
I really enjoyed this finale.
Yeah, so did I. It was good. We're not shitting on it. I mean, this is our job. We talk about it. Great. Again, this literally makes me want to go buy all the books and read the books because I want to understand how we got here, how we got to a Trantor and just this whole empire. I want to know.
I want to know what the hell that Prime Radiance constructed out of, that it wasn't vaporized by that beam.
Yes, also, that's a good point. Very, very strong material. I'm wondering. Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
What's up?
And this kind of pushes us towards the end of the episode a little bit, but
no, not yet.
I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but is it possible that the Prime Radiant is built of materials not of the worlds that we know of in the show so far? Because we did see Calais.
Yes, it's quite obvious that they have access to some things.
Yeah.
Now, what it is, we don't know. Before we get there, though, Empire Darkness does what I hated maybe the most after Demerzel dying in this episode. He kills Day, who's probably the most likable
Oh my
Day we've
God.
ever had in the
Yeah.
entire series.
Oh, I was so looking forward to that storyline.
Yep, that's what really pissed me off, was all that build up for that storyline for it to end like that. But it's okay because we get the most WTF ending
Yes.
that keeps my Apple TV long running theory possibly alive here.
I know. I was thinking the same.
We get the planet Earth reveal. We made it, ladies and gentlemen. We survived the tens of thousands of however many years it's been. Earth is alive and well. The atmosphere looks good. We got Calais' little robot industry or empire or colony or whatever the hell's going on the moon and all the moon craters. And I think I even saw Florida. I think I saw Florida from, but it does seem like the Earth has reformed Pangea in some sense.
A little
But-
bit, yeah. I think
by the way-
the water level seemed to have decreased a bit. There's more land. You know, maybe they figured out a way to eject water into outer space so they could make room for all the extra billions of people that are probably living there now.
We are correct to assume that was Earth, correct?
There's no freaking way that is not Earth. Because
just
to reveal a
saying.
planet like that to an audience like us, a planet we haven't seen,
Earthlings,
exactly. The only reasons to do that is because it would be familiar to us. It's Earth.
So that's going to be fun.
Hella
We're going to get
fun.
an introduction to the Earthlings. We're going to find out what's going on. There's obviously more robots. Not sure if Calais is a robot. It sure seems she's a robot. And she obviously has a robot assistant guy who's talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
And that robot was doing the handshake signal back to Earth.
Yeah.
Now, I think that robot is asking for help because Demerzel, they're obviously aware of Demerzel. They know her from Earth.
They know
Okay.
Demerzel, yeah.
So I think the robots have taken over Earth, is my interpretation here.
No, I don't think the robots have taken over Earth. I think the robots are just present here on Earth. Like I think Earth is HQ, right? I think Earth is HQ, and there was some, shipments of people and robots and God knows what else that went out to, some other solar system, and they set up there, and they just blossomed over the last thousands of years. I have no idea how many years. And that got us to where we are now. But I don't think robots have taken over Earth. I do think Demerzel was the one in charge of this whole expedition to go, similar to what I guess Elon's trying to do, move some life to Mars. In this case, move life to another solar system.
Yeah, there'll definitely be some version of Earth history or something like that.
Mhm.
Feels like now I went from feeling we may wrap this up in 2 seasons to we can have probably another 4 to 6 seasons now. I don't know.
I think this is probably, correct me if I'm wrong on what I'm saying. I think this is probably the first show that can actually break the mold that Apple seems to have set with most of their shows, in that it goes past the 4th season. Most of their shows
there's no
end
season
on
that-
season 4.
Ted Lasso, I think, ended on season
3, and we're
3.
having a season 4 now, right?
I think they decided to do one because the last season was no bueno.
It was not good.
At least not compared to season 1 and 2. It
Season
wasn't-
1 and 2 was phenomenal. Ted Lasso. Season 3 kind of sucked.
Yeah, compared to season
but-
1 and 2, yeah.
It obviously has caught the mainstream eye enough. It's been in the top of the charts for God knows how long. So it makes sense. But when I think of most of their shows, though, by the way, C as just an example, it's 4 seasons.
Well,
Most of them are 4 seasons.
They gotta get people to. This is one of the craziest finales of a TV series that I've ever watched. Okay, this might be up there. I can't think of one that's. There's a couple shows that popped into my head. Alice in Borderland had a pretty crazy one, which I think that's coming out around the corner as well.
I've never watched
in the next
it.
couple weeks.
That's an anime, right?
No, that is. It's based on an anime, I think.
Mm.
But it's not. It's a live action. on Netflix. I'm trying to think of other season endings. Obviously, Game of Thrones had a few. Game of Thrones had a few of them, but my goodness, this is the craziest one that I can remember most recently.
It is wild. I'll be honest, this whole season has had some incredible mic drop moments in it. Incredible. I mean, just like Demerzel being the one behind blowing up the Star Bridge that one was extremely shocking to me.
It's at a very fun jump off point. This season ended in such a perfect place where it's opened up this new storyline with Emperor Darkness, who's just Terrence Mann killed it. All right, get rid of the two thrones. He was fantastic in this episode. You have Don, who's kind of like Simba. He's the king that nobody knows is still alive. You got Beta, who's the most powerful mentalic in the entire universe, who now has Maggie back at her side and all sorts of different people with her. She's got Dark Harry, who she might be able to sway over to her side now, staying there. You got Gale, who's probably going to the Second Foundation, all right, to reset and figure things out. You have the stuff still going on in Mycogen with the whole robot religion. You have the mysterious robot heads in the palace and that handshake signal. And now you have the unveiling of Calais and her robot army that essentially they dropped the Easter egg of saying all the pieces are in place. So they're planning to make a move now. Yeah, so there's a ton of stuff going down right now. And
there
by
really
the way,
is.
Calais visits Harry Seldon. She takes him through a portal.
Yes.
Is that portal back on Earth?
Yeah, I think it is 100%. I think his body, in whatever way, shape, or form, is back on Earth, and maybe they turned him into a robot now.
What is their mission? What is their mission over there on Earth?
I don't know. Preservation of life,
man.
Maybe?
They better not make us the bad guys.
No, I don't think we're gonna. I mean, again, haven't read the books. Clearly, I don't think we would be the bad guys in this situation. I'm assuming it was obviously Earth who sent people out to go explore. I mean,
well, there's other species that I don't believe the spacers are from Earth.
No, the spacers are not from Earth. I mean, I would be shocked if they were. Yeah. Definitely other species out there. Like aliens can be a thing in this show, clearly. But I do think humans from Earth were the ones that left at some point in the far, far past. And, we're exploring the universe. I feel like the whole Earth storyline is going to be a continuation of what we understand the robot programming to be, which is to preserve human life.
Yeah.
Like that feels inevitable to me. I could maybe see how that correlates to everything that's been going on in the show, just with Harry Seldon and, trying to prevent as much darkness, however you want to interpret that, as possible. So I feel like they're the good guys. I kind of feel like I do kind of agree with you. I think Gale's on the better side of things. But yeah, don't think they're evil.
Well, I would have to say that Foundation has finally gotten to its point of mass appeal. That if they're able to get people to get this far into the series, there's nobody who's not going to tune into season 4. So I think it's a beautiful place to end season 3. And I am ridiculously hyped for season 4. So if you listen to this pod so long, let us know what you think. Let us know your reactions to the finale in the comments. Let us know your theories for season 4. If you've read the books, zip it. And make sure to like this video. It helps us immensely, and it's free to do. And subscribe, because we got more content coming to you. So let's get into some of the wagers and then categories, or do whatever. You take the lead, sir.
Yeah, I did want to mention 2 super quick things. I was just rereading my notes, and when Gale and them were all going on that mission, I wrote in my notes, I was like, this mission just feels like it's doomed to fail. I don't feel like they planned enough.
There wasn't a single moment that I thought that mission was going to succeed.
It felt rushed. Not in the sense of like the production rushed it, just in the sense of like it was intended to feel ill-planned, and I think they did a good job of portraying that. And then the other thing that I wrote, honestly, was just more of a question to you. Did you notice how rapidly it felt like Dusk, when he turned to darkness, Brother Darkness, looked so old and deathly?
No,
Like
I didn't notice that.
He visibly looked and seemed so much older to me in moments as he made this transition from Dusk specifically to darkness. He just seems so much more evil. It kind of reminded me of Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars in Episode 3, where he uses his electrical power and Mace Windu zaps the electricity back at his face and he kind of distorts himself. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. But okay. Bets. We got 3 bets.
Okay.
All right. Let's start with the I'm going to go backwards. We're going to start with the third bet. What planet is the Novacula going to blow up? So you bet Ignis, and I said Trantor. We're both clearly wrong on that. So the score is set at 0-0.
0-0.
Yeah. The second bet is Zach thinks Dawn rules, and Mario says, no, it's Day. I mean, I'm definitely not right.
At the end of the season?
Yeah, I think it was by the end of the season. Who's in rule? Remember, so the whole the beginning of the season was Dusk and his ascension to become Brother Darkness and die. Day becoming.
We're both wrong. 0-0.
Yeah, we're both wrong. 0-0. Here's the third bet. Mario thinks Day will end up with Song again. Zach says no.
Oh God! So
you
won?
We're all wrong. It's 3 zeros. We're completely wrong in every single thing. That's the first for this, by the way.
How are you wrong? He didn't end up with her.
Oh, that's true. I did win. Wow, that's great.
So I mean, if you want to be wrong, you can be wrong. My beta prediction was incredible.
Your beta prediction was incredible. Just for that alone, I'd probably give this a tie, because I did not see anything coming on beta until I think it was last episode, where it was her face to face with the Mule we knew.
The only reason I'm like glazing myself on that one is because I've been saying that for like 5 episodes now. I said it when she met Uncle Randu.
I did not catch it at that point, and so that's why I applaud you. I think that's good, and I think that, like, again, happy to say we're even on that. I legitimately thought we were completely just tied down the line here. I didn't even realize I had the middle one.
Well, pal,
the final one.
Johnny Walker blew on me, pal.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. You got to come up here. Take a trip. Not this weekend, but take a trip. We'll have some Johnny Walker.
Maybe before the end of the year.
Do it, bro.
All right, categories. One last one for the road.
All right, let's do it. I'll be honest. I'm taking a note out of your book for almost every episode this season. I don't have any favorite lines that stood out to me. I feel like you do, though.
I do. I had a few. Most of them were all Dusk. But there was a couple that stood out to me, like when Day says, "What's happening?" and then Demerzel goes, "Too many things at once." So she's overwhelmed. Like, she's literally there's too much going on. But there's something Dusk says at the end where he talks to Demerzel and he says, "You left me no options but to blow up the clock." That I thought that was good. And then when he kills his own clone, he says, "The old man dies." I thought that was also. He had a bunch of like just one-line zingers in the entire episode. So
yeah, he was very quippy at the end here. Those are good lines. I did enjoy his little.
songs.
His little. I have it on screen right now. What is the time at? It's at 46 minutes 53 seconds. Where after he's killed Day and he's bent over looking at him and he's saying, brother something.
Yeah.
You won't annoy me anymore, something along these lines. I
liked when he was talking to Zachary. He has like his own version of Wormtail now. So he's like, "Well, get to it, man." great.
Dusk before he became one of the most evil villains it feels like we've had in a while.
In a long time, I think.
Yeah. All right, favorite character of the episode. Let's start there.
I'm not gonna say favorite, but I think this category may need to change to who had the most, who was the stealing.
I think that's the
leading
definition of why we're picking the favorite. But I agree with,
force. Okay.
with
Yeah. True.
your reasoning there. Yeah.
Dusk. It has to be Dusk. There's no way. There's no one else. Maybe Demerzel.
Dusk is, man, that's such a good point though. Demerzel.
The way Demerzel dies for that baby.
I was just prepared to give it to Day, as a farewell gift to Day. But
No.
one of the things I'm the most disappointed in right now is I feel like we're done with Demerzel, and she was growing. Like, she was one of my favorite characters of the show.
She had finally grown on me, and right when she grew on me, she was vaporized to molten robot flesh.
And I cannot describe. I wish I said this earlier in the episode, but I cannot describe how upset I was that we were so close to seeing this reemergence of the robots with Day bringing the head to Demerzel, and we could have rebuilt the race. And the odd part about that though is, I feel like we still kind of have that story. I think the thing I was looking forward to was like, cool, more robots, right? Like more of that race. But at the mic drop moment at the end of the episode with the Planet Earth reveal and Calais and the other robot, which looks like some leader out of Star Wars, just in robot version as well, standing right there. We've got more robots at the very least. So I'm kind of covered.
I don't think that we're done with Demerzel, buddy. So,
look, I hope you're right. I really do. I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. I don't feel like I'm wrong, though. But we do have one more category.
Okay.
Favorite scene of the episode. I can tell you what it's not for me. It's definitely not the attack from Gale and team on the Mule.
No, mine is the sequence of Dusk does his thing. He kills Day. He takes the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get that sort of, the robot skull lights up. And it's like a really kind of interesting sequence where the little handshake initiated, the mystery of it. Yeah. The lights, show the little signal transferring. And you're like, where is it transferring to? You're thinking, oh, maybe he's transferring to Demerzel.
I was thinking that for a moment.
Then it cuts to Calais. It's voiceover, and she says, not voiceover, but her voice. She says, it's weird. We're getting a call from Trantor. Mm-hmm. But it's not from Demerzel. Maybe the pieces are in place. They want to embroil us in the struggle or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then we get the freaking Earth reveal, which I just was not expecting in this episode. The beta thing, I kind of saw it coming. The Earth thing, absolutely did not see it coming. So I do love when a show does that. When they hit you with the whammy, then they hit you with the second whammy, and then you're like, all right, we're done. I can breathe. And then you're like, but you feel like in the back of your head, like there's a third whammy. And then boom, that's the end. That's what you want, man. That's like what you get in a good detective thriller where they're like, what's wrong, boss? We caught the killer. Yeah, I just want to do one final walkthrough. And then the detective goes and does a walkthrough through the place. And she remembers something that the guy who just came up to her said, what about the socks? And some random crap. And then you find out who the real killer is, Mm-hmm. That's always a good one does it like that.
Yeah. Good scene. For me, I just have to go with the one that had my jaw on the floor the entire time. And that was from the moment Dusk was blowing up all the clones. I think it was the moment he locked eyes on the child at the very beginning before he blew anything up, all the way through the moment where he obliterated the child in Demerzel.
I didn't like that.
melted to death on top of him. I'm not saying I liked it. I think it was the best scene or sequence.
It was the
in
most
episode.
intense because you're like, he can't possibly be getting away with this. He can't possibly be getting away with this.
No, I was shocked the whole time.
She's gonna move from a walk to a sprint at some point here.
Fucking
Surely.
run something.
She's gonna throw a needle through his neck or something here at some point. Surely, but no, he destroys 7,000 clones in a disgusting carnage fest, and then obliterates the baby with a vaporized beam, and now he has the prime radiant. I did think I think they really missed an opportunity when he had the prime radiant in his hand on the throne. He should have opened it.
Yes, thank you. I forgot to mention that.
And then when that little branching thing that had been going crazy all season,
some resolution
should have been calmed, and it should have been branching out to something different.
Yes.
They missed a mega opportunity for
100%.
that. Because I thought that would have been the greatest cherry on top for this psychotic king to want to see how he affected the psychohistory himself. And I thought that would have been an insane villain move right there.
100%.
And I thought they missed out. Maybe they ran out of budget.
For that effect, just pull that out of the back. Pull it out of whatever the hell you did in like the previous episode or two. I'm glad you brought that up though, because that was my instant reaction when I saw it too. I was like, I was sitting on the edge of my seat. I'm like, open it, cut to black. Fuck, really? Like that's where we're ending this? That's where I left off. Oh man, well, bravo. Season 3 was great. I'm looking forward to season 4. It's probably one of the series I'm the most excited for at the moment from Apple. I'm excited for Silo. I know they're doing season 3 and season 4, or at least they're filming it back to back, but I think this is peak Apple right now.
Yeah, this is, I think, something that they've been building towards, and kind of, I've been saying it, that this show is a slow burn and people need to really give it a chance before they can truly fall into the world. But this finale really ties it into a whole different level, I think. So definitely the best sci-fi show on television. Definitely the current best show on Apple TV. For All Mankind is probably right there with it. Until they merge both those storylines together eventually, and it becomes one show. Yeah. For All Foundation.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's conclude this episode, sir.
You want to end it, or you want to go into an afterpod for a minute?
We can do an afterpod for a minute.
Yeah, only if you want. I am all caught up on Chief of War, by the way.
There's a million shows I need to watch that have been falling through the cracks for me, and I've just been so busy that I haven't been able to watch them. Me and you built a really cool prototype for a competition. Maybe we'll share it with the channel. It does pertain to TV and film. Maybe that'll be something we could share with you guys. Check out. We also have there's a show called King and Conqueror that released on HBO Max with Sir Jaime Lannister, aka Walter Walter. I forget what his name is. So he's Jaime Lannister to me, but he's a hell of an actor. And something Norton, isn't it? James Norton? I forget what his name is. But looks, I haven't looked at any previews, but it looks like a medieval badassery show from the image. I could be wrong though. And I want to watch that. And then The Task released last Sunday as well. Alice in Borderland is coming out. Slow Horses is coming out. The House of Guinness is coming out. Wednesday just finished. I mean, there's so many things to watch. I've been watching a ton of movies. Yeah. There's that movie by Darren Aronofsky out in theaters right now that I want to watch with Austin Butler. There's just so much out. There's not enough time, brother. There's not enough time, brother Dusk.
Yeah, just hope I don't vaporize everybody. Yeah, there's a lot out right now.
I killed a massive spider in my house today too. So
that's cool. That's great. Yeah. No, I've actually not watched any movies in a little bit. Kind of sad about that, but I have been binging some shows. I'm all caught up on Chief of War, aside from the episode that comes out tomorrow. Or I guess if you're listening to this when we drop it today. It's a good show. I'm not gonna lie. It's a very, very interesting show for me. It's hard for me to say where I would rank it right now, relative to another show that we may have covered. But I am very looking forward to that. I did binge the rest of Wednesday with my wife. We finished that show. Honestly, I think season 1 was better. Season 2, not so great. I did find out after the fact that there was that psycho lady in the first season. She was actually she played Wednesday in the movie. Right, you remember the two like movies that always play at holiday on the holidays, like Halloween. She was Wednesday in that, so I thought that was an interesting, overlap there. But yeah, that's about it. I don't think. Oh, I did start Invasion. Season 3. I'm one episode in.
I haven't watched it yet.
I'm not feeling disappointed like I did in season 2 so far, but it is way too early to say whether or not I would recommend watching season 3. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. It's been a weird week. I'd be remiss if we didn't mention we're recording this on 9/11. Everyone knows what happened in 2001, right? And prayers and thoughts with everybody who's dealt with that. The world's never been the same since then. Then we also had the disgusting assassination of Charlie Kirk earlier this week, which wherever you stand, whatever side of the aisle, the guy was just for political discourse. His whole thing was about talking to people who didn't agree with him, and he was killed for it. So, really, it's been a really dark week, and and all the more darker because it just leads into 9/11. But prayers with his family, prayer for the country. Really, the division is something else. There's no reason why anything should ever get to that point, especially when it's all about just reaching across no matter who you disagree with and making peace and talking. You don't have to agree with everybody, but not to the point of, if you've seen that video, I had the unfortunate, I didn't really know what I was going to see because it was before they reported that he died. But if you see the video and you see what the face of evil looks like and you see what happens because of that, it's disgusting, and no human being deserves that, no matter what. So,
I completely agree with that. I think civil discourses, should always be the first move, the priority. It is sad,
and it shouldn't be controversial to say. People should not have to cower to say something like that. That it should not be something risky to say that just because you disagree with somebody, that you shouldn't be getting hurt for it. It's about respecting other people and the golden rule, and that's it. And if you watch his stuff, you don't like him, fine. If you watch his stuff and you like him, okay, great. But the whole thing was always giving a platform to people who disagreed with him to go and talk to him. Yeah. So, really just disgusting to see. And hopefully they catch the person who did it.
I hope so. The thing that eats
he's
at me,
cooked. They got footage of him everywhere.
I mean, it's a matter of time. I was just gonna say the thing that eats at me is, like, again, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, to be celebrating death.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. Like,
the stuff I've seen on social media. If you're the type of person who celebrates somebody's death, because they disagreed with you on something, I mean, you're a despicable waste of breath, to be honest with you. You're doing things wrong. Either wake up and take a look in the mirror, or I don't know. But to get to a point in your life where you are like making jokes about something like that, or equivocating it with something else is besides the point. So, anyways,
I agree.
Not to end it on a damper, we saved it on the after show. But it's one of the nobody. I don't think anybody will forget this week.
No, and it's hard to not mention it in a week like we've had with. I feel bad. I don't know the girl's name. Irina.
Yeah, the Ukrainian.
The Ukrainian girl. I heard about that on the news.
It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting.
It's sad.
I don't even want to watch the video for that because
I haven't. I don't think I could, especially not after having a child myself now.
And there's a conversation to be had about should that footage be up there? I think it has to be, because you have to see what evil does And for someone who's blind or saying some ignorant opinion about it, you have to go see it. You should see it. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. I don't like it in the sense that, you know, some people like fantasize over it. I mean, I know that's a thing. Like, that's not cool. That's not good. But I do agree, like, in the perspective or the line of transparency, like, yeah, that is important to be out there, because everything has consequences.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all I got. If you listened this far on the after show, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to the episode. We hope you enjoyed the episode. And you know, we will, we don't know I don't know exactly what the next episode will be yet. I think we've got a few things in the mix, but we're looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, we don't know what show's going to be next, but we got a couple contenders, so we shall see you guys soon on the next episode of Story Archives.
All right. As always, peace.
Hey, email us at contact@soapbox.house with any of your episode reactions, by the way. So